What's up, members of the Storm? And today I give you my first actual interview. This interview was done with my boy Zanief. Go ahead and check him out. He's a really cool dude and he's an upcoming director. Other than that, enjoy the video.
What's up?
Okay.
It's been a while since I streamed. I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff with school and all of that and social media. But I'm glad to be streaming again. And right now is a very special occasion because this is technically my first ever face cam stream. Right? It's the first time I'm using the camera and I have a guest with me. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Sloan. I am 21 from Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm an aspiring author of my upcoming story, Magic is Science Fool, and I'm also a content creator for like graphic novels, movies, and video games.
Nice.
And it's nice to be here.
It's nice having you, bro. I'm surprised you actually wanted to do this. Not a lot of people are open enough to have these type of conversations. Thank you definitely for coming through.
Oh no, I mean, honestly, I'm just glad to be here because I'm gonna be honest. I didn't expect to like get as much followers as I did in general. So it's like, I mean, because as a kid, it's like, oh, I thought like, oh, it'd be cool to be a content creator, but I never thought I would be like get to this point. So really and truly, like any chance I have like doing things like this, I definitely want to take the opportunity to do it, even if it's for like small time people. It's like it's like if basically we can help each other out, then we help each other out. So this is so the honor is mine, really and truly. I'm glad you reached out to me.
Absolutely, bro. Listen, when it comes to all these followers you're getting right now, I'm gonna say it like this: hate is a hell of a motivator, and when you are
Oh, cool.
when you're talking about stuff that isn't the norm, everyone's gonna want to either destroy you or listen to you just to catch you off guard.
Yeah, I know. I understand completely what you're saying when you say that whole hate's a motivator because I'm gonna be honest. I come from a very petty bloodline. Okay, on my mom's side and my
Man,
dad's side, they can be petty. So when I see people say these things, I'm like, it's not even like, oh, it makes me want to stop. It's like, no, 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 keep going, because you're giving me that much motivation to continue because I want to bug the heck out of people like y'all, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
absolutely, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
when did you first fall in love with comic books?
Well, I have to say, well, I have to start from the beginning. I will say I started out an anime fan.
Hmm.
Because just a little growing a little backstory on me. So my dad was in the military, so like we I spent time like in various different places. Like I was came into the family like a little bit later, so I wasn't around when my dad was moving around necessary. But like what's his name? I get the words. He retired from the military, but he got a job overseas in the UAE. Abu Dhabi and Dubai, like way before it became like a hot spot for all kinds of things and such. So me and my family we moved over there with him and we stayed there for a while. My mom was afraid of how we would be treated in like the schools there, so we she homeschooled us. So basically, all I had was me, my sisters, and the internet. So like around, so basically we got it to hold to anime and stuff like that. We watched it on pirated websites and stuff, but like as time went on, I stopped falling out of I fell out of love for anime to a degree because the thing is because me and you both know that the anime community is very racist, like the
Absolutely.
people and the medium. So because the kind of person I am is like because like I'm not throwing shade on other black anime fans, but like you know how the black anime fans would be like, oh, it's so racist, it's so this, but they will continue giving their time, money, and energy to it, like, and hyping up this medium as a whole.
Word,
You
yup.
see, that's not the kind of person I am. It's like, okay, so, like, for example, Samurai Champloo, stuff like that. It's like, okay, so you will gladly use hip hop, you will gladly use all kinds of people's culture, but you won't represent them. No, I'm out. It's like, you know the anime Maggie Labyrinth of Magic?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen much of it. No, I've heard of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So growing up in the Middle East, there was a lot of stuff in that show where I was just like kind of put off guard. Like first off, it's like okay, why are they so light? There are quite a few Middle Eastern people who do have light skin, but it's not white. it's like
Well,
it's got some kind of tan to it, you know what I mean?
yeah, well, I can say this. I don't think it's much of a racism thing. I think it's a lack of knowledge and information, right? So
Exactly, stuff, yeah,
the,
stuff like that,
the,
yeah.
the Japanese will have some characters of color in the anime, but I'm not gonna
Mhm.
sit here and act like they should know about black culture. They should know about different people of color. It's not their job. It's not their country, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I can't
yeah.
hold it that against them that much, but people like Taisei Kubo, right? A
Hmm.
lot of his art is influenced by black culture and stuff like that with Yoroichi, some of the Court Squad members, some of the Espada and Bleach. You can
Yeah, yeah.
definitely tell that he has an awareness for black culture and what black people look like, how people wear their hair, stuff like that. But it's very
Exactly.
rare that someone from Japan would take the time out to understand Japanese culture or understand
Exactly.
Black American culture. Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah. So stuff like, so honestly, like with that realization and kind of like what you said, because like to a certain to I believe I agree with you completely, because like there are like even today, despite the internet, they still are kind of shut in, right? But I feel like in certain, like just in certain the case, a lot of the cases they don't know better. But I feel like in other cases, it's like you, you did know better. Like, you know what I mean? Like with the racist
Right.
designs. Like I saw a video where basically was saying like, no, we can't do like the whole excuse. Excuse
No, take your time. Don't worry about it.
me. Yeah, it's perfect. Sorry, but yeah, like for example, the whole racist depiction of black people. At first, I fell on the excuse of like, oh, they didn't know any better. But it actually, when I did the research, it turns out there actually is an excuse. There isn't really an excuse with that, because like they've been seeing the Chicago Bulls games for like live for decades, so they saw people like Michael Jordan and stuff and know how to draw them. Like slam dunk. That's
Right.
like did that come out in the 80s or the 90s?
If I was to guess, I'd say 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially
And
if
the
there
way
was
he
an
drew the,
anime boom at that point. Definitely, it's definitely
yeah,
90s
yeah.
for me.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was the '90s. Like how, but how they drew him. There's a black dude in there. It's like that wasn't racist at all. That's how a black dude looks. And even before that, like they made a Huckleberry Finn anime back in the
Really?
'70s. Yes, and the man, the slave they had there, his design was perfect. His design was not racist. And none of the big nose, sausage lips, nothing. So
Really?
really,
I gotta look that up.
yeah, yeah, I saw that. I was shocked. I'm like that. It was that. I remember I was in middle school. I was in the middle of typing an essay, and I decided to get distracted. And I looked that up. It was like that was the moment I like cut it off. I'm like, you know what? I watch myself an anime. Y'all want our culture, but you don't want us. I was an emotional kid.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? But
Understandable.
like, yeah, like the moment I fell in love with comic books, I have to say is when, because like I said, because I was an anime kid who didn't really care that much for comic books, but once I looked, like I saw like when I was a kid, I really liked the whole grandiose power stuff. So the moment I found out Superman was as powerful as he was, that's when I was like, oh, I'm interested, kind of thing. Because my first anime was Dragon Ball already, so
Yup.
that's the kind of
Same
kid I
here.
was already. Yep, my man, my man. But yeah, so after I found out with comic books, it kind of and the way. So after I found that out with Superman, that's when it kind of hit me. But no, it didn't hit me then exactly. I just got interested in it. But I remember me and my dad were going to get a haircut over there, and he found this YouTube channel called Variant Comics. Once I found that channel out, let me tell you, let me tell you, because all I saw there was these videos on top of videos, decades of stuff I missed out on. I watched the vast majority of their videos in a single afternoon. I
Wow.
shoot you not, man.
Well,
Yeah,
Variant is a dope channel, man.
yeah, after I found out that channel, that's when my love for comics bloomed, because it was it had such a broad range, broader than anything I've seen in anime. Like, well, anime can be unique in its own way. It's still kind of like repetitive. Like, like even like we look at the power systems, Haki, Keto, and Nen. It's like it's different fonts of spiritual energy.
Mm.
Haki is a blunt instrument, but it's super powerful. Keto is basically just magic, but it's spiritual energy. And Nen is highly complicated, kind of thing.
Yup.
But then when comic books comes along, you see all kinds of things. You see stuff people like Doctor Strange. You see they have cyborgs. Like, oh, Doctor Strange is the most powerful guy because he has magic. Because guess what? in any advanced science can be indistinguishable from magic and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like I like at first I was like even with comic books because comic books turned me from a fantasy kid to a sci-fi kid because like with fantasy I loved magic and I loved the magical species, but as time went on, like I fell in love for science because instead of just like waving your hand, it's like, oh yeah, I wave my hand and erase them from existence because magic. I fell in love with the way they handle things with science in the sense of like, you see this highly advanced technology piece of technology, it can erase you from existence. Oh, it's not, and I'm not going to stop it at there. Here's how you do it. You see, using and you know how they explain it, like the ultimate
Word.
nullifier. It destroys all of existence and recreates it without the entity that it targeted being in existence at all. You know what I mean?
Word.
So
Word.
stuff like that, that detail fascinated me. So that's so, and as a result, because I think it's fair to say that when it comes to modern anime and manga, they are very lacking in the sci-fi department. Because now all it is just cyberpunk, cyborgs, and mechs. It's like, but where's the unique stuff? Like interdimensional stuff, fighting cosmic entities and stuff. You know what I mean? Like Galactus and the Silver Surfer,
Mm.
the stuff like that. That's how I fell in love with comic books and all. I mean, I eventually I did come into the roadblock there. It's like how mainstream Marvel and DC and stuff they have a lot of underused characters of color and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And there's only like a handful that get through, and even the ones that do get through, you put them kind of under a magnifying glass, and it's like you still riddled some stuff in there. I see. Okay,
Right.
and it kind of ruins it. It's like, oh, we're gonna let him there, but guess what? He's a legacy character of a mantle started by a white guy, and that's the one we're gonna make sure gets a series every single year. It's like, okay, but what about the black character over there who has his own unique mantle? It's like, oh, Black Panther's like, no, no, no. It's like I like Black Panther. I mean, before the MCU came out, that's a whole other topic.
Right.
But like,
We'll
it's
get
like you
into
like
it.
Black Panther. Yeah, it's like you. I like Black Panther, but it's like I want more than Black Panther. And it's like, okay, then Luke Cage. It's like, okay, but you changed him. Now he's talking about like black social issues and stuff. It's like that's fine and all, but it's like where's the old days, like classic Luke Cage, Heroes for Hire Luke Cage. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I'm a hero. I'll save the day, but guess what? Being a hero isn't gonna keep my lights on, so I'm just gonna ask for a fee. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. Oh yeah, I'm an Avenger. I'm gonna avenge you upside your head, kind of thing. And it's like, it was funny. It's like, I feel like there's a happy medium that could be met with Luke Cage, but they're just not doing it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And even then, it's like, okay, so you don't care. I like Black Panther, but I don't want more than Black Panther. Then it's Luke Cage. It's like, okay, now he's just a character for social messages. It's like, okay, what about someone like Jericho Drum? There's technically a whole side of the Marvel universe that's not being talked about with him because he's a sorcerer. He gets his powers from the Orisha. The Orisha are underutilized group in the Marvel universe, and it's not like people think Marvel forgot about him. Anansi's the first Spider person in existence, and he's one of the Orisha, and that Brother Voodoo like invokes at times and stuff. So it's like, so when I put that into retrospect, it's like, okay, so you're sitting on a whole gold mine right here, Marvel. What are you doing, kind of thing. And I found that like again and again and again with DC, like like before Milestone Returns came back, or
Mm.
before Milestone returned, it's like, okay, we got this whole cool universe, we fused it into the main canon, and we did nothing with it. It's like,
Right.
okay, anything
Right.
else? We got Cyborg, a lot of potential. We're not dropping any books for him, and it's like, okay, I'm starting to recognize a pattern and stuff. So like even with that, I started getting so frustrated, but I was so lucky because Variant Comics is a comic book channel in general, not covering the indie stuff as well. I found all kinds of stuff like in the indie space, and that's where I like that's my basically my happy place in terms of comic books because everything that I've asked for in terms of comic books, it reaches it. Diverse stories, check. Quality stories, unique power systems, all of that is checked to a T and stuff. So to answer your question, it's like, I mean, I already answered questions. Like, I fell in love with comic books in term with at Variant, but like, yeah, ever since then, like, I like anime and manga to a degree. Like now, it's just I'm very picky with it now and such. It's just nowadays I'm more of like a comic book fan because like I've seen that between manga and comic books basically satisfy what I look for in terms of content and in terms of like a representation and such.
Right. But see, I'm the exact opposite, right? I came up with Western comic books and cartoons first, and then I got into anime. Right? I
Mm-hmm.
always tell people this: the first superhero I ever seen was Static, when he had when he had the Static Shock cartoon, and then the second
Mm-hmm.
superhero I saw was Jack from Power Rangers SPD. So it's like, damn,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
there's two black superheroes I'm looking at the same time. This is dope. And then that's when I started reading more Justice League and starting to get into Teen Titans. At that point, Teen Titans was out, and
Yeah.
I always loved reading. So I'm like, okay, give me a comic book. My first comic book was it was an Incredible Hulk. Like, I think it was a compilation book of all the issues. It had like this
Oh, that's cool.
lenticular 3D cover art thing going on. It was dope.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
this was back in like '09. So
Ooh. Oh
yeah,
man. And what
but
I would what I wouldn't do to be a comic book fan earlier on.
oh yeah, man, yeah. And then my first anime was Dragon Ball, but my favorite one after that is Bleach. Like Bleach is my number one favorite anime. Period. I always say like
Mm-hmm.
my top three are Bleach, Soul Eater, and Blue Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I could go on about I could go on about Bleach. Trust me, you'll be here forever. But
Oh no, don't worry. I like Bleach too.